If there is one thing that Africa's business leaders have talked about the most in recent months, it is intra-African trade. The continent is home to over 1 billion people, and this translates into a market that can unlock Africa's growth potential.
Our colonial masters drew the lines for us, which they called boundaries. And they told us, you are a Kenyan, you are a Zambian, you are a Malawian. They left us divided. It's time for us and the African Union to come together. Time for us to look to Europe, to look north for solutions is over.
If you look at the map of Africa, it's like a huge question mark. And this question has got to be answered, and now we are at a position of answering it. We've got to start looking inwards. Africa has a population which is about 1 billion. We talk of India having 1 billion, China 1.2, and we all say, wow. Let's say wow about Africa.
This past week, Kenya Airways, or KQ as it is popularly known, set up a new route in Ndola, Zambia. Now, Ndola is the third largest city in Zambia, which started off as a commercial and administrative area for the several mines across the Copperbelt province, which is where we are now. Now, this area is opening up to trade, not just with the traditional partners of the neighboring countries, but to the rest of the world. Ndola has a strong industrial base. It is a pleasant city with little to indicate its industry. We set off to the mine area to experience the Copperbelt province.
This is the beginning of the smelter. We buy the concentrates from our side. So that's the concentrate from the different supplies. So our total production is 150,000 tons per year. So this is concentrates, is the beginning of the smelting. Since this is the copper is rich here in Zambia and Copperbelt nearby the DRC. So that's why we come here. And we do the business together with the Zambian, the government and people. We want the development together.
With the copper industry steadily growing, Kenya Airways hopes to tap into this potential.
I think Zambia is still very virgin in terms of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity to diversify in industrial fields, tourism, agriculture. I mean, it's nameless. This is a country that's full of resources. So yes, there is great opportunity for investment in this country, and Zambia can only grow.
With this new route, travelers in Ndola can take a flight from here directly to Nairobi, and from Kenya's capital connect to the rest of the world.
Transportation has been a problem for those coming to this region. Either they have come via Africa, because South African Airways flies into Ndola, but maybe twice a week or so. If you are coming from West Africa, it's even worse, because there's no connection, no direct connection. For instance, from here, you can't go to Angola unless if you go via South Africa. So for those who are doing business with the Copperbelt, like those who are coming from Asia, the Indians who are running mines here, it will be easier for them to come from Bombay into Nairobi and directly to Ndola, instead of going to South Africa, via South Africa, and so on. So really, it is going to boost the way we do things here. The work is going to be easier for us.
What it means for the people in Ndola is, of course, saving time. Journeys that were taking them up to 2 days now will be done in just hours. And I must say that the market has welcomed our products, and we've seen already the seats that we've provided being absorbed with ease.
Trade is usually positively associated with economic development. This allows a country to expand domestic production, usually both in industrial and non-industrial sectors. As the airline hopes to add to its bottom line, Business people hope that this will ease the cost of doing business as well as open new opportunities between the two countries.
My name is Rianne Benson and I'm a singer and songwriter. I am half Ghanaian and half Welsh, but I was born and raised in Ghana, so it's very much my home. I released my first album, Gold Coast, in 2003, and I'm just about to release my second album, Hands Clean, on Valentine's Day.
I've left all the years behind. Seems like I'm still loving you. It's getting harder to erase every little thing you do.
I think music plays a huge part in development in a country like Ghana because it's such a big part of our culture. You know, I used to read stories about the famous Yaha Santiwa Ashanti Green Warrior woman when she was beating away the British troops, and you know, it was to the sound of drums and rhythms, and everything, every moment of importance in Ghana day to day is marked by music, from weddings, funerals, opening of major institutions. It's ever present, and so to have a thriving music industry in this country, I think goes very much hand in hand with our development as a country. I think the diaspora play a huge role. As someone who was born and raised here and then moved abroad to the UK and the States, but always coming back, I feel like I'm part Ghanaian and part diasporan, and I've seen both sides. And I know for a fact that there is a sea of change happening right now with an influx of reaspirants, as I heard recently, which I think is a great name for it, coming back home and bringing with them a world view and perhaps skills that they would not have been able to acquire at home in Ghana. I think that for Ghanaians who've grown up in Ghana, never really moved out, it's exciting because it's like, okay, well, so you did that, maybe I can do it too. You know, I'm just going to see the way you do it, you know, and apply it. And I think more and more that's going to be happening and sort of speeding up our growth. I think the youth are vital. They are the future, literally. I think that kids need to be inspired with the sense that the sky is literally the limit, and then it will become the limit. From what I see, a lot of kids in rural areas don't have enough to do to just remain stimulated, not just at school level, but in terms of just being exposed to sports, all the extracurricular stuff that develop children in an all-rounded way are not available to them. And I really hope that that it becomes a focus for not just at community level but government level as well, to make available these experiences, be it, you know, sort of team sports or, you know, cooking lessons, or, you know, having access to apprenticeships at young thriving businesses where they can learn on the job. All right, so this is how people do things. Okay, maybe I may do that one day.
This is my chance, I'll say this is my chance. Yeah. Nothing to fear. Gonna say how I feel. I'm gonna ask him to dance, and if he won't dance, another panic attack. I need to say how I feel.
You know what? I hope that Ghana seizes this moment in history, I think, which is ours to grab. I've been talking for so long about how proud I am of the fact that we were the first nation in Africa to achieve independence, and we're blessed. We're a blessed nation. We have resources, so many that we don't know what to do with. We've now discovered oil. We now have so many people, not just Ghanaians returning home to Ghana, expatriates and other Africans who want to be here. I think that this is our moment to just take things to the next level and to take a leap, to embrace the culture that we have, but also, more importantly at this stage, embrace the best of what's coming to us, and make it, assimilate it with what we're doing, and just make Ghana the real shining star of Africa.
Well, Invest in Africa is an initiative to change the view of Africa away from aid but towards investment, and to bring a number of different companies from different types of industries together to help to promote different type of investment in Africa. It's changing the perception of the continent. It's to show that Africa is open for business and that it's a good place to invest. And quite a lot of the initiatives that are out there tend to be more lobbying, they tend to be more about aid, but we're really saying that this is purely business. The companies who have been talking about this and getting involved in this are from all over the world. We all have the same experiences, we all have the same issues, and we all see the same opportunities. And everybody's willing to help. We have endless opportunities for companies to work with us. If you want an easy entry into Africa, come and offer the services to the companies who are currently there. And that's good for them. It helps to build African businesses, and it also helps them to establish, have relationships and partnerships in the continent. There's two types of businesses that will benefit from Invest in Africa. There's those who have not previously invested in Africa. They can learn from the experiences of companies who have. They can see the opportunities. And for companies who are currently there, they want to bring in more companies. They want to bring in more investment. They want all the countries to do well. Well, Africa is a big place. There's 54 countries, so every country is slightly different. But I think, when you're investing in Africa for the first time, I think you need to be patient. It's a long-term investment, it's a long-term commitment. All the companies who are supporting Invest in Africa, we've all been in Africa for a while, and we've all seen that football is a major activity there. Every village, every town, every city has got football. Sunderland already had operations in Africa through the Foundation of Light. Getting the Invest in Africa brand on the Sunderland shirt was a key way of promoting both the brand of Invest in Africa and getting the image of Invest in Africa across to people. And football is a global industry. It's a huge audience, both in Africa and worldwide. The longer you work in Africa, the more you love the continent. You've got a fantastic place, fantastic opportunities there. And I think if we can get a few companies working in each of the areas and show that it's a success, and that the message has got through that Africa is an investment climate. So it's getting that message out there to a very wide audience.